So far on the challenge, there have been 3 rival seasons. Well, 3.5. And a question many fans have is how MTV decides some of the partnerships. Yes, some make complete sense, like people wanting to smash someone's head and eat it, but others haven't even met and had a rivalry based on one tweet.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take the money and run, teacher.
I'll win every fight.
Rookie Revolution.
This is a game!
Hey guys, what's up? It's the Rookie Revolution, and today I will be analyzing every pair on Rivals 1 in no particular order and judging how much of a real rivalry they were. Rivals is a beloved theme that many want to see make a full comeback, but every Rivals season some of the pairs are, in a word, whack AF. So I will go into each pair's history of hatred for each other and in the end give them a rating on a handy dandy scale from hi, nice to meet you, to hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. And at the end, after talking about everyone, I will put my ranking, separating gender from 1 to 7, realist to fakest. So with that, let's begin. I think the best place to start is with the male winners of the season, Johnny and Tyler. And these two for sure have one of the most in-depth relationship prior to the season, as they were both on the Real World Key West together.
Tyler. Just boom, here's John. I was expecting him within the first 5 minutes to chug a beer and crash the can on his head.
They had a completely up and down relationship here. It honestly depended on the day if they were best friends or screaming at each other. But in the end, they left describing each other as brothers. So on the real world, they did not come out as rivals.
Thanks for always being a brother, dude. You too.
I love John like he's a brother to me. I really do. And though he's a punk, he's a good kid.
Here's where it gets interesting. On the duel 1, Tyler was selected to go into elimination and he could choose pretty much any guy. Keep in mind that this was his and Banana's rookie season and together they had some sort of alliance in numbers. But Tyler selected Johnny to go in against him for reasons I will never understand.
This is the way you guys all wanted it. Let's go, Johnny.
What? He goes for Johnny, which is crazy vote, man, just to go for your cast member like that.
This, I think, was the turning point in their relationship. Tyler sent Bananas home first when that could have been easily avoided. The situation actually came to a blow up on the Gauntlet 3 where Johnny had his opportunity to get revenge and send Tyler in, which he did in a not so polite way.
Me getting sent home from the duel was one of the worst experiences of my life, and I owe it 100% to Tyler. There's a lot of built up animosity.
Although it was a group decision, I have no problem being the spokesperson for this one because I can't say that there isn't a bit of history from past challenges. We're gonna go for one of their big dogs, Tyler. Get it, girl.
I am so angry when I hear my name called out. And then the way in which they delivered it was really callous and rude, a bit hurtful.
Tyler took a break from the challenge and came back on Cutthroat, and they were not allies at all here. They actually really didn't interact. But they did have a bit of a blow up at the reunion because of the whole Bananas backpack and them not being able to fight each other in elimination.
Tyler would have went against him first. I mean, the whole outcome could have
Absolutely
been
not.
You had a minute to prepare.
I had 19 seconds to prepare. Let's
No.
be honest. If I
What
toss around CT, you don't think I can toss around your ass?
You're
My
fired up at
performance.
me. You're such an ass, Tyler.
So coming on to Rivals, they did have a fair amount of history between them, and I would say because of the initial bond between them, they were easily able to become the most formidable team and win. So on the Rivals scale, I give them a, yeah, this makes sense.
Whenever I do a challenge with Bananas, he does not win. Perhaps I am Bananas' kryptonite.
How did you go from being Johnny's kryptonite to his lucky charm?
I came out of the closet, Maria.
We've been together ever since.
Let's move on to Mandi and Jenn, who don't have a long history at all. They actually only had one real big encounter, and this was during Fresh Meat 2. Jenn probably hated rookies more than anyone in the history of the show. It got to the point where it was ridiculous.
You're new, baby. You are a rookie. If you don't get it, you're not supposed to. I'm a veteran in my partnership. That's why Nor doesn't open his mouth and he follows me, because I play the game.
She treated them like they were garbage, so when Mandi asked her why she voted for her, she flipped out. And I mean flipped out, calling her names, throwing a drink on her, and she face mushed her very aggressively. It was just ugly. Yes, Mandi called her a B, but she in no way deserved what Jenn did.
Why don't you clean your face up, Chunky? That that chicken head, horse-headed bitch, you Tory spelling reject.
From the minute she walked up on that stage, there's just something about the snotty little look on her face I didn't like. If I ever do get the chance, I would love to pound her face in.
They revealed at the reunion that Mandi was given the option to remove or let Jenn stay in the game, and she let her stay, which I think was big of Mandi. But I also never really felt like Jenn was apologetic about getting physical, as seen on the after show and such.
I told her I was gonna chop her body up and leave it on her mom's front porch. She's like, I'm gonna kill your family.
Why would you choose to let her stay in that moment?
Because I was gonna come through the door and whoop her ass if she sent me home. I still would have shoved her. I definitely wouldn't have changed that at all. She deserved the drink in the face, she deserved the shove, she didn't deserve the name calling.
But also, they never really seemed to have animosity after this. They didn't seem to have beef going into or during Rivals at all. But this pairing does make sense. So for that, they get one-sided, but yeah, okay, on the scale. Alright, Adam and Leroy. This one is the most simple so far. Adam was a complete and utter mess during their Real World season, and Leroy was one of the only people to speak up and stand up for the house.
If Adam left today, I'm not gonna lose no sleep over tomorrow. You sound like an idiot. First of all, you ain't scaring nobody. You definitely ain't scaring me.
But I'm gonna do what I want.
Obviously, you don't give a about me. So if it's me, it's you, bro. You can eat it.
Don't tell me to eat it.
Feel about it.
Don't tell me to eat it, Leroy. You want me to eat it? Say it again. Bro, I thought we were boys.
What the I've been trying to help you since you've been here. What the are you talking about?
We all know Leroy. He's one of the most laid back guys in the history of the show. So for him to actively not like someone really speaks volumes.
I'm not gonna speak to Adam unless I have to. I still want to break his face.
Adam was a clown and he punched Ty on the first day. I really have nothing else to say about their rivalry except I'm glad Leroy got Mike to replace Adam with. I give them a don't call me a guy, Leroy.
Don't call me a guy, Ty.
Next up, we have Katelynn and Sarah, and this rivalry is laughable. The only reason this pair was here is because Katie couldn't come on for Sarah. For all intensive purposes, these two were not rivals. Maybe they were a little competitive with each other at times, but they were definitely not enemies. They had one small, teeny tiny brush up on Fresh Meat 2 because Katelynn said her name.
My mom told me that you would be the first person to throw me under the bus, and I told you that I'd keep your name out of my mouth if you kept my name out of yours. I'm so glad that you proved my mom right. So thanks for proving her right.
Now what that bitch is not.
That is literally it. So they're rivals for that. Okay, but that is literally the only thing to say about them. They were actual friends. So for this pairing, I'm giving them a rating of being knee deep in the bullshit.
I'm like wading thigh deep in the bull right now.
Evan and Nehemiah is one of the rivalries that grew twice the size after the season ended, but the rivalry was definitely there going into it. I feel like Nehemiah is a person who didn't buy into the whole JEK BS. He was actually actively against them. On the Duel 2, Nehemiah had an alliance specifically to get Evan out and make the game more fair.
I really believe that if Evan gets taken out, the game will be played a lot more fair.
He would make subtle shots at Evan with his quote of the day, and it was pretty funny. The first chance Nehemiah got to go against Evan, he did. He lost, but he made a big ballsy move, and you have to respect it.
It's gutless, guys, bro.
Gutless?
It's gutless.
You
Can't wait
gutless.
to kick this.
Now, these two could not work together, and Evan ended up throwing the season, so these two hate each other way more now, but this is about the preseason, so I will give them a beached whale in the rankings. Now, for the female winners, I have mixed feelings about the Evelyn and Paula pairing. Their rivalry started on the island since Paula was in Johnny's alliance. Evelyn and Johnny hated each other, so by extension, Paula and Evelyn hated each other. But it didn't come to a head until making the final teams, when Johnny and Kenny cut a deal with Evelyn so she would be the fourth member of their boat. This, in Paula's mind, took her spot and made her feel like Johnny and Kenny chose Evelyn over her.
You guaranteed her a spot on your boat if this guy went. As far as alliance goes, she was never in it, and you never talked to me about it, and you just went ahead and just did it anyway. Feel really lied to right now.
Paula was not quiet about this and was very mean to Evelyn about the situation, even though it wasn't really her fault. These two didn't see each other again until Fresh Meat 2, where Evelyn came in as a replacement and Paula was unhappy to see her. Not because of the island, but because of how good Evelyn was.
Everybody's like, oh, Evelyn, welcome. I'm like, are you guys Why would you want the best person here? Bring somebody with like a bum leg or a missing arm, something.
Paula, are you gonna say hi or not? Come on. Hey.
Paula and Evelyn then went into elimination against each other, where Paula lost, but there didn't seem to be any hatred there. I think a lot of their hatred was heat of the moment things, and these two never really did anything horrible to each other. But as a pair, I completely understand MTV's thinking, so I will give them a swift, okay.
Who was I disrespectful to? Who was I? Besides you.
Okay.
Now we move on to by far the longest standing rivalry going into the season, CT and Adam. Now these two met each other on The Real World Paris and initially actually had a bond. It wasn't until one night when they were all out drinking when CT got into a street fight and Adam was trying to break it up. And Adam apologized to the guy who picked a fight with CT. Thinking about this is literally the Gus and Jeremiah situation from Floribama Shore. Anyways, after the fight was over, CT started pushing around Adam. Adam in CT's mind was a two-face and didn't have his back.
Honestly, I'm very sorry about this. I apologize. You could have walked away, CT.
Come on, dog. Don't be such a all the time, man. He was in my face the whole time in the club and I walked away from it.
No reason to fight. If you're gonna fight over something important, cool.
You ain't got my back, bro. Say you don't got my back right now. Dog you. Work you. Work you.
See, I have...
You ain't got... All you do is talk.
They never really recovered from this. I mean, they made up, but they would always talk behind each other's back.
I should get an apology from you.
I meant when I said I'm not gonna try to be a buddy no more. There's only a couple things I'm here for. I might be going home early. Because as soon as I get some people here, man, you're lucky I don't whip your ass, man.
As soon as you get some people here?
Yeah, as soon as my friends leave, there's really nothing else to look forward to, man.
Why'd you just whoop my ass right now?
I don't like you, you don't like me. Let's leave it at that, bro. You don't like me, I don't like you. Stop talking to me. There's nothing to talk about. Never saw. Don't get me fired out. I don't want to hear it.
After Paris was over, they didn't see each other until the Gauntlet 3, where they were civil until near the end of the game when a similar situation happened. CT was in an argument with Frank, and Adam was trying to break it up, which brought CT back to Paris. He just didn't think Adam had his back, so he poured his beer on him.
Who are you protecting? I'm protecting my team. Then back up. You see you doing the same thing you did in Paris, bro. The kid got hit with a little beer. He's like he didn't get hit with the bottle.
He is a self-indulgent, manipulative, egotistical, narcissistic, infantile egomaniac with a 14-word vocabulary. It's just not worth 30 grand to punch somebody.
You, Adam. I don't care enough about you. You always badmouth me.
You just make up in your own mind.
Don't, bro.
You do. It's like cycles.
The last straw was the attempted murder, which happened on the first night of the Duel 2. CT saw his ex-DM and Adam talking about an alleged hookup with Siobhan, which once again led CT to think Adam did not have his back. See a trend here? So CT went into the room and punched him. To be fair, Adam was not innocent in this. He was really egging CT on here, but Adam got hurt really bad.
CT thinks Adam told DM something about him and Siobhan. He's pissed.
Clown. I'm a clown? You're a clown. Hit me. Hello. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. I'll touch you all I want.
Hey, Adam. There's blood flying everywhere, bloody handprints on the door, blood on the carpet. Things are completely out of control. None of us are able to stop CT, including production. He's a 240-pound Wolverine. He's pissed and he's attacking Adam.
CT and him both got kicked off, and they didn't see each other again until the after show, where CT explained the situation in which he should not have been on the show and his brother was very sadly murdered. It was just a very sad situation. I'll link the website with the whole story down in the description. But after this, they did seem to have an understanding of each other, but they did not make up.
He thinks I'm always trying to stab him in the back, or go behind his back and screw him over. And I'm not. And I'm always actually trying to help him. In Paris, I was trying to keep him out of jail. In Garland, I was trying to keep him on our team so we could go win some money. At this point, I don't know that there's an end. I don't think there's a fix it.
I don't feel like I was there. My brother actually passed away on me. I had no business being on that show that time. I was already angry going into it. I don't want you to hold that against me the rest of your life. I'd like to move on at some point and keep things, cordial.
I still am upset. I'll be honest. I still harbor a lot of resentment.
Then they became partners on Rivals 1, and the rest was history. Now, this is such a complicated rivalry, but CT literally wanted to eat Adam at one point, so you have to give them the highest score, and Adam has to consider himself lucky that CT didn't smash his head and eat it.
You won the fight. I win every fight. You kidding me? Yeah. I will smash his head and eat it.
We will now take a break for a quick intermission.
All Stars 2.
We will now return to our regular scheduled programming.
Camila and Theresa. The thing is, for this one, these two could have had any partner, as they both aren't known for being exactly easy to get along with. So they were both drunk the first week of Cutthroat, and people found some of Jen and Ty's clothes under Camila's bed, so Theresa called her out. They were both drunk out of their minds, and they weren't really making any sense. They were just screaming at each other pretty much.
Everyone in this house wants you to home because you're fucked up.
I don't need ties, extra large web pants. They don't even.
But you just. How convenient! You stupid
bitch! That's a big accusation. I really don't appreciate it.
You are getting so angry and so pissed, and I am just having a good old time. Klepto bitch!
My business is done.
See ya!
I will say Camila has been proven and has been known to steal people's belongings, so the fight had some substance to it, but it really was just two drunk people fighting.
Something's missing, and sure enough, I'm looking to Camila.
Have you ever taken anything?
No, never.
Camila literally loves stealing things.
Queen of borrowing and never returning. Have to be Camila.
If you want to guarantee that you'll never see your things again, loan it to Camila.
Sometimes I think that Camila steals things without even realizing it.
Ever since we got here, it's, I don't have my shirt. Can I borrow your shirt? Can I borrow your toothpaste? I don't forgot my toothbrush. I'm just gonna borrow somebody's toothbrush. Can I borrow your makeup? Do you have any shampoo?
After that, I don't think they had any real beef, but these two were two up-and-coming stars on the challenge, so it makes sense to pair them up together. I have to give them a drunk foo on the rating scale. For Brendan and Ty, I feel as though with all of the big names and personalities in this cast, these two were unfortunately just a filler team. They got into one argument on Cutthroat, and I still have no idea what caused it.
One of my favorite pastimes is pushing people's buttons. The first moment I actually meet a person, I begin sizing people up, things that make them tick.
He's an idiot. He needs professional help, like seriously.
It had no substance, and then they went against each other in elimination on Cutthroat, in which Brandon beat Ty because Ty gassed out and could not continue. Brandon is just too nice to have any rivals. He was the first one to check on Ty after their elimination round to make sure he was okay. Rivals don't do that. I get it, you need a filler team, I really do get it, but there wasn't really a rivalry here. It's just filler.
I don't want to participate in beating your ass.
Next up, we have Aneesa and Robin. This rivalry started on the duel, and this is actually a very sensitive topic. Robin one night was drunk and started attacking Aneesa on her race, sexuality, and others. She said Aneesa needed to make up her mind, and she thought Aneesa's sexuality and race and what she identified as was flip-floppy. Just disgusting things and things you should never, under any circumstances, ever say to anyone. It's just not your business or something anyone has a place to say.
Aneesa, if you're gay, lesbian, straight, black, white, Puerto Rican, Portuguese, pick something.
I never say anything to anybody racially. Get the out of my face. We're a disgrace to women.
Robin's acting like an idiot. I'm like, oh, hell no.
And then you say the racial to me? You're an embarrassment. I'm embarrassed to be a woman because of you. Who are you?
I'm very hurt. My mother is white. I identify with her. My father's West Indian. I identify with that. I am proud of everything that I am.
The house was outraged at Robin, obviously. I mean, they couldn't believe she would say those things.
I have never in my life not known what to say. How on earth could you ever say that?
Very offended. Yes, I am. You don't throw gay cards at people. You don't throw race cards at people. When you sit there and act ignorant, whether you're drunk or not, there's no excuse for it. That's far from me. Very offended.
It's actually pretty much exactly what Trishelle was saying to Aneesa on Rivals 2. The next day, Aneesa got sent into elimination and chose Robin to go against. Aneesa then proceeded to beat Robin, and it was sweet, sweet karma. Robin did apologize after, but honestly, I wouldn't accept the apology, so this rivalry is deep.
You're never going to be able to live a day in my shoes. You're never going to go through what I went through as a child.
You're this, you're that, you're like, who are you, Aneesa? It's hard to trust somebody that doesn't even know who she is and where she's coming from, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't understand your sexuality. It's not for you to understand.
With Davis and Tyrie, if you hadn't seen The Real World Brooklyn, you would probably think that they were just another filler team, but this rivalry was very real and crazy. Now, on The Real World Denver, Davis had a drinking problem, so one night, Davis got more drunk than ever and left during a confrontation one of his roommates was having with someone at a bar. They supposedly called his roommate, I'm not even going to say the first letter of the word, but they supposedly called him the word. So they were mad Davis just left and didn't have their backs. Tyrie then went to confront Davis about this, and Tyrie was understandably upset. But Davis was not comprehending anything because he was drunk, so it turned into Davis antagonizing Tyrie and trying to get him to punch him.
I'm not really having a good time, I'm bored, and I decided I'm gonna leave.
I said, is this okay? He was like, say, no, you need to get the f out of here. You call me an N-word. If Davis heard this, I'm pissed off at Davis too. Because how is Davis gonna leave.
I'm trying to calm him down, but at the same time, I'm getting mad too.
The reason why I'm pissed off at Davis right now is because that's my roommate. He left. Nobody else knew he was gone.
I'm not sure if Davis left him or knew what was going on. Kind of want to get to the bottom of it. Did you run off on Steven when you needed help, man? That's all I'm asking.
You needed help? Are you blaming me for coming home?
No, I'm not blaming you, but I'm asking you if you left him. It's a yes or no. Did you leave him? Backwards hat, punk ass, LFO, wannabe, fake ass, NSYNC, punk ass, Backstreet Boy looking bitch.
I want you out of here.
Tyrie, come here. Come here, Tyrie. Come on.
Watch your mouth. Please, just get him away from me. That's all I'm asking.
Tyrie, back up. Back the up, Davis.
And I mean, it was crazy. Brooke is known for being crazy, and she couldn't believe this. Davis was just out of his mind. It was like he was possessed. And then he had the audacity to scream out the word, which, in my opinion, is unforgivable.
Listen, if you're gonna hit me right now. Right now! If you're gonna hit me ever, you hit me right now! I don't want to live with somebody who's gonna hit me. I don't want to live with somebody who's gonna kill me. I can't sleep in this house knowing there's some black dude in there gonna kill me because he doesn't like me. You are out of control, man. I'm going home, everybody. Nice to meet you. I'm going home tomorrow because some wants to kill me. What?
Some who did?
But the next morning, Davis apologized and Tyrie forgave him. Tyrie's a great man. He just forgave him, and the next episode, he stood up for Davis at a bar. I just can't believe Davis could say or do anything like that, and I think we all need a friend like Tyrie. This fight's just really hard to watch, so I'm sorry if I'm brief. Fun fact, this fight won an award on the Real World Awards bash.
It's not really an honor to win this award. A lot of alcohol was involved. I have to say though, without fighting with you, Davis, I would not get the $64,000 question I always get. How come you didn't whoop that white boy's ass? I love you to death, bro.
With Jasmine and Jonna, I don't want to sound insensitive, but their rivalry stems from a pretty typical real world love triangle. There was this guy Jasmine was really into, but he liked Jonna, which caused a rift between the two. Yeah, I'm probably cutting some corners talking about this, but really that's the whole rivalry. I understand love triangles are hard, but once these two actually talked, they were able to become best friends. But they did hate each other because of the guy on the Real World, so it was a real rivalry, but one that is not personal or deep. And in the end, Jasmine just started dating the guy's cousin.
She's nuts around him. Like, this boy is making her crazy.
What's between me and Pat is between me and Pat. So everyone kiss my ass.
Kenny and Wes. This is the biggest one. The whole season was actually built around these two, and this rivalry is almost synonymous with the word on the show because it's the most infamous one. So let me explain the history. These two actually started off as friends and allies. They got along really well on Fresh Meat 1 and The Duel, and Kenny named him as someone he would want to see on the Inferno 3. And Wes actually talked about their friendship history, which I will show in a little bit. But on the island, everything changed. Johanna, who is Wes's ex-girlfriend, or as he referred to her as his ex-fiancée, she and Kenny started up a showmance, and this was considered to be a huge betrayal. So much so that it caused Wes to come out of retirement in order to confront everyone on the ruins. Right off the bat, without even breathing, the fighting and the insults started.
I saw the opportunity to be with two of the most important girls that have ever been in my life. To be there with someone that I would consider a hated enemy was just too hard to pass up. Kenny here, who is the one who ruined any chance of a friendship that I could possibly have with Johanna. The fact that she was willing to risk all that for a random hookup with someone like Kenny, of all people, was extremely hurtful.
I don't care if the kid lives or dies. I'll kick every freckle off your face, you ugly little bastard. I'd love to take him by his red-headed, stupid face and bash his skull in.
Kenny and Wes's rivalry made Wes public enemy #1. He had absolutely no friends and was repeatedly sent into elimination. But after Ruins, at least at the reunion, they seemed to have squashed everything. Well, on Fresh Meat 2, for some reason, their rivalry was back and worse than ever. Actually, Fresh Meat 2 was literally marketed as the season of Wes versus Kenny, as the whole storyline was their two alliances squaring off.
I want you so bad right now, I would rip your head off. It's me and you. That's what I thought.
So that whole season they were at war. They didn't have any real moments, they were just repeatedly after each other and insulted each other every chance they got. And at the reunion, their rivalry was again at the worst it's ever been.
You know what? I thought we buried the hatchet from the ruins and all the other bull Let me see where I can take it. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I'm gonna kick your ass now.
Is there real animosity between you guys?
I give him a lot of credit. Instead of shooting a little lower and trying to compare himself to one of the other guys on the show, he tries to compete with me, which you really can't do, but he tries.
I've got a handful of legitimate things that he has done to me in my past that has been just not like a man, as a businessman, friend.
Businessman. You weasel piece of shit. I'll beat your ass right here. How's that? You throw the first punch, I'll let you throw the first 5. After that, be prepared for me to kick your in.
I just feel like the only person that is dying to be famous on the stage is him, so why would I give him a time?
Why'd you come on? Because you want to, like, make everybody, oh, hey, redheads are okay. Or girls swimming, what you did.
Will you two shut the up, please?
These two just couldn't stand to be in the same room as each other, and MTV saw this and wanted to know what it would be like to have them tied together, hence the Rivals theme. So if dating your friend's ex-fiance, bashing each other constantly, and not being able to be in the same room equates to rivals, these two were arch-explosive, destructive nemesises.
I got my fingers crossed for, like, Wes. I want one of the badass dudes, man.
Kenny used to be free. Johanna was also one of my friends, and I was not happy with him about that.
So that was like the ultimate betrayal from your...
It was the ultimate betrayal, and it's not like, I mean, she could go after anyone, and she knew that this was the one that was going to hurt me the most. We're talking about Kenny, who was really fat his entire life, okay? Now, what happens to a fat guy who's fat up until high school and then becomes skinny and good-looking? They're instant and they have to put their in everything they possibly can to make up that they're fat. He lives with his parents. Batman or Superman, or which one's cheats on his bed?
Out here. It would have been great, though, right?
We would have smelt it. You got into sports because your mom said you were fat.
He lost at the game of life when he came out a redhead.
Now for the biggest female rivalry, I actually have a whole video dedicated to Laurel and Cara Maria leading up to Rivals 1, written by the awesome Brian Batty. I really recommend you all watch it, and since I did that video, I'm going to be super brief here. This whole rivalry was based on the first draft pick on Fresh Meat 2, and after them being on the same team on Cutthroat, Laurel saw Cara as someone who needed to be coddled and wasn't very strong. So she, in all honesty, was just really mean to Cara, but it all stemmed from jealousy.
She's freaking clueless. She's never really done things like this before. She was very harshly made fun of in school.
She is a scared little girl that needs somebody to protect her.
Cara Maria, you're the weakest girl here. Go home.
Every challenge we do, we think where we need to put Cara Maria so that she fits the best, because we know she can't think on her feet. We know that she can't throw a ball. We know that she can't.
Again, this is brief because I really recommend you watch what I consider to be the best video on my channel, but for the scale, we got a series of unfortunate events. Okay, here are my rankings of the realest rivalries to the fakest rivalries. Remember, this is only my opinion, and I do not expect everyone to agree with me, but here they are. They did a really good job this season with only a few filler teams. This, as you will see in future parts of this series, does not keep up, and the teams get a lot more fake. With that, thank you all so much for watching. My brain is fried, and I'm going to sleep for the next couple days, months, or weeks, or years. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Social media links are in the description, and until next time, take care.